Hey, welcome to Langdon Hills. Let's get our gear and head to the viewpoint. We are in Essex at around 116 meters above sea level, and that's where the car park is. But to go to where we can see the skyline, we're going to go a little bit lower, but not by much. It seems like a lovely little park, and I'm sure there's much more to it than just a small element of the park that we're going to be walking through to get to the viewpoint. Wow, and that view over there, especially on a good day like today, because the clarity of air seems to be very good today, is spectacular. I kind of hope that the sun, once it goes lower, below that big cloud, will kind of illuminate the skyline and add some color at that level. As you expect, I did bring some long lenses. I brought my 180, my 500, and I even brought the 2x teleconverter that I can put on the 500. So I do like this spot, and having a long telephoto lens here is crucial because we are far away from London. This is it. Such a good view. In the gap between the two tree patches, I get to see the perfect whole skyline. This is where we're going to set up camp. Okay, let's see how really good the visibility is. For the moment, I just took the ZF because it's my best body with the 500, no teleconverter, just to get the crispiest of photos, because the teleconverter obviously, even though it does create extra resolution, might remove a little bit from the sharpness. Not by much, I don't think, but it does a little bit. So I'm going to shoot at the lowest ISO, 100 or even 50, to get the least amount of noise. F9, F8 and F9 on the 500 seems to be the sharpest setting. And yeah, it's a beautiful composition here. I absolutely love it whenever I come here, and I've been here many times. I shot some time lapses here, so actually later on I'll show them to you too. Visibility seems okay. I think I've been here on a day that it's been a little bit crispier, with a specific wind direction in London, with planes landing at Heathrow coming from the east and landing towards the west. From this specific viewpoint, planes pretty much fly through the London Eye like as if it's a dartboard. Honestly, it's the craziest viewpoint, like you know, haven't seen one like that, and this one literally does that. So I'm wondering if we can wait, or I can check if there's like a big bird, you know, an A380 coming at some point. There's another plane actually just flying right now because it's Heathrow. Like, there's a plane landing every 1 minute. So I'm shooting it in DX mode, which is basically 4K in 750mm because it's a 1.5 multiplier. And yeah, it just looks sharp. Phenomenal day for it. Humidity is low. There's a little bit of wind that pushed all the haze. And yeah, it's just a great view here. I brought my chair with me so I can relax once I set up a time lapse on another body. yeah, just gonna enjoy this sunset here. I'm gonna take a panorama sliding from the left to the right. I'm gonna edit it as it's gonna be shot in RAW and show you a pan in 4K throughout that panorama. Now I'm going to put the 2x teleconverter that will go behind the lens before the F to Z converter, and it will make the setup a little bit ridiculous, but let's see the results. Getting all these pesky little dust specks off, because as the aperture of the 500 being 5.6 drops down by 2 stops, you do not want any little dust specks on either the sensor or the lens, because they will just show up and then have to be removed. And the sun is there, my sensor's this way, so if I'm switching lenses, I'm gonna go the other way so that no sun shines into the sensor. And this is the original F-mount TC20E Mark III teleconverter for F-mount lenses. I did a little bit of a modification because otherwise it wouldn't go on this lens, and with that modification basically requires filing down a little metal element, and once you do that and then you clean it up, you are allowed to mount additional lenses than just the F4s that I think it was designed for. But it's a small modification and I got it pretty cheaply used, so I wasn't worried about that. But I knew that it does great results. It's a really sharp teleconverter. And even with this teleconverter, I wouldn't shoot wide open, so at 5.6 becomes f11. I will always try to close it down to at least f13, f14 maybe. I think it just adds a little bit of sharpness. And once we put it in video mode and then add DX crop mode, 1000mm setup becomes a 4K 1500mm setup. So if I really wanted to just crop the 1080p out of that setup, it would be an equivalent of to 3000. Pretty decent for a compact size full frame setup. But it's then not full frame because it's a crop sensor and then you're cropping in the 1080. Anyway, now I can see much clearer pretty much all the capsules, but I will try to do manual focus just to make sure that we are getting max sharpness. From this distance, I can see all the wires connecting Langdon Eye in each direction. Then it means it's pretty sharp. Right, do we see any planes coming through? Oh yes, there is one literally right now, just now. I've just checked all the arrivals tonight till midnight, and there's not going to be any 4-engine planes. Anyway, the small 2-engine planes will just have to do, I guess. And you know what? Worst case, I can just chill, enjoy this nice sunset, peaceful location, no people here, literally no people here. I love this place. And a view of the whole skyline from Canary Wharf through the Shard, the Langdon Eye, City of London, past the Old Street, new cluster that's rising there, and finishing on the right with the Stratford skyline. It is an absolutely fantastic view, this. While not much is happening, I might just sunbathe for a bit. This chair is like, it's not bad, but it's not the most comfortable, but it's lightweight and it fits into the backpack, so does the job. Well, sadly, as the sunset is approaching, things aren't looking great for color, because the sun will go behind all these clouds and then my skyline will not get the nice reflections or any color. Yeah, but while I'm here, I might as well take some photos of whatever reflection we're getting. There is a little bit, just not too much. Canary Wharf is getting some nice reflections. Funny how from this angle Canary Wharf actually intersects with the Vauxhall cluster just to the left of it. It's pretty cool. Cities doesn't seem to be getting a lot of reflections. Some of the buildings like the Gherkin, the Scalpel, they're getting that line of light, a little bit of reflection, as well as one Blackfriars. But other than that, there's not a lot of colour. Nowhere near as much as I kind of would have wanted to come here to commit shooting a time-lapse of it. But that's the game. I would say possibly visibility has improved. Things are looking just a little bit clearer. This is probably not the best time for shooting a sunset from this spot. Probably early around, I would say, February maybe, or March. The sun would have been somewhere setting across the skyline. I'm able to dig that time-lapse up. I can share it with you now. If I can't, then trust me, I did shoot it. I will do my best to find that time-lapse. But it's just interesting to see planes fly through London Eye. It's just not something that you get to see often. Yeah, it's not ideal sky. Not gonna deny that, but it's just nice to be out, shoot a sunset, not be interrupted by millions of crowds and tons of people. Clarity of air is fantastic, visibility is great. Yeah, just lovely to be out in nature and yet still shoot architectural images of the skyline. Yeah, but these mosquitoes are starting to really get on my nerves. So I decided to hang around just for a little bit longer, and you know what? That color started coming through. There was just this thin gap that the pink behind the skyline started to show up, and you can clearly see that in the images, and that's really exactly what I wanted. I was just not anticipating it. I just in the end didn't think that's gonna happen, but it is happening, and wow, it looks so good. So I just spotted that 2 planes will be landing at City Airport, and I'm filming that on the 500 without the teleconverter anymore at 750mm, so it's the 4K in DX crop mode. And it's gonna look okay because the pink is still hovering around the horizon of the skyline. It's looking good. That pink is slowly starting to fade. Yeah, it's almost gone, that pink. Didn't last for that long, probably about 20 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. An Airbus 220-100. Approaching just above 1 Canada Square. Really nice, shame the pink's gone a little bit. Oh well, that would have been nice to catch it with the pink. Funny enough, I was literally just about to go, and I decided to stay put and hang around for a little bit. And I got rewarded with a couple of nice images with that pink on the horizon. So thank you for watching, and on this note I will end this vlog because it got quite dark now and there's no color on the horizon behind the skyline. So I'll be finishing that time-lapse, and now I'll show you the time-lapse as well as a couple of the images that I captured from today. I think some of them were really cool. So if you want to ever visit this location, this is the exact What3 words that I was shooting from, and if you want to visit the location of the car park, this is the What3 words location for the car park. Other than driving here, it's probably quite difficult to get here by public transport, so yeah, just drive here. It's worth it. Good view, bring a long lens. See ya.